Have you ever seen one of those films, where there's no dialogue at all? It's all visual and it just sucks you in. Imagine that, but in a book. That's what we're looking at today. Journey, this awesome wordless picture book by Aaron Becker. It's like having a silent movie right there in your hands.
It really makes you work as a reader, doesn't it? I mean, there's no text to tell you what's happening. It's all about Becker's illustrations. It's amazing how he can tell a whole story without using a single word.
It really is. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a deep dive into Journey, into the story, the characters, the themes. We've got some great overviews and reviews to help us out. So think of this as your shortcut to understanding why everyone's talking about this book. Okay, so basic premise. We've got this girl, right? She's lonely, and then she finds a red crayon. And get this, she draws a door on her wall and it opens up into this whole other world full of color and adventure. And just to make things even more interesting, Journey is actually the first book in a trilogy, so there's a whole lot more to discover beyond that first door.
You know, it's like before we had written language, people told stories through pictures like cave paintings and stuff. And Becker is kind of tapping into that really basic way of communicating.
Yeah, exactly. And even though the characters don't actually speak, we get to know them through what they do, how they look. We have the girl, obviously, then this really cool purple bird, and this kind of scary emperor guy, and a boy at the very end. It's amazing how much these illustrations can tell us without any words.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the girl and her journey. What do you make of the way she's presented in the beginning?
Well, the colors, right. The overviews talk about how everything's these dull browns, kind of washed out. What do you think that says about her?
Total loneliness, right? Like she's bored out of her mind. And then she finds that red crayon and it's like everything changes. That crayon becomes like this symbol, this spark that brings color and excitement into her life. It's so powerful. That little bit of red against all the gray. It's like a reminder that we all have this potential inside us, just waiting to be unleashed.
Yeah, the crayon, it's not just for drawing. It's like a representation of her creativity, you know. And look at what she draws. A boat to travel through these amazing water cities, a balloon to fly through the clouds, a magic carpet. She's not just going along for the ride, she's making things happen.
Totally. She's resourceful, she sees a problem, and she draws the solution. She's got imagination, and she's brave, too, like when she tries to rescue the purple bird. And she's kind. It's not all about her. She wants to help others.
Why red, though? Why do you think Becker chose a red crayon for her? Red is usually associated with energy, passion, maybe even a bit of rebelliousness. Does that fit with what we see in the girl?
It does. It's like that red is the spark that ignites her whole journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the other characters. We have the purple bird. It's so vibrant, especially compared to everything else in that magical world. And the overviews talk about how it's being chased by the emperor. What's the significance of the girl trying to help the bird?
I think that's really important. It shows her compassion, and it kind of sets things in motion for the rest of the story. And the bird isn't just a random character. It becomes this symbol of friendship, of loyalty. It actually helps the girl later on, returns the favor.
Right, right. And then we have the emperor, this kind of menacing, powerful figure. The overviews describe him as the danger in this fantasy world. He captures the bird and he captures the girl, too. He's like this obstacle, a challenge that she has to overcome, maybe even representing like her own fears or doubts.
Like the classic villain in a story, right?
Yeah.
He creates the conflict, the tension, and the girl is the hero who has to defeat him. Even in a fantasy world, there is still dangerous things to be afraid of.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's that boy at the end of the book. He's drawing with purple chalk, which is obviously a connection to the purple bird and that magical world. What do you make of that last scene?
Well, that purple chalk, it's definitely not a coincidence. It makes you think that the boy has been to that world too, or at least he's got some connection to it. Like maybe he could be a friend, a companion for the girl. It kind of leaves things open for more adventures, It's hopeful.
I love that. It's such a nice way to end the story. Okay, so let's walk through the narrative a bit more. We see the girl go through the door she drew, and boom, everything changes. The colors explode. It's not just a different place, it's a different feeling altogether.
That's like the whole point, right?
Right.
Her imagination takes her from this dull, boring reality to this incredible world. The illustrations are so detailed, you really feel like you're there with her.
Exactly. And we see her exploring these water cities, floating in a balloon, flying on a magic carpet. It's pure magic, all created by her imagination. And then things get a little scary with the bird being captured. how do you interpret that whole sequence of events?
Well, it definitely raises the stakes.
Yeah.
It shows how much danger the girl is in. And when she tries to rescue the bird, it shows how brave she is. And then she gets captured too, which is even worse. But then the bird comes back and it brings her the red crayon. It's like this act of loyalty and it allows her to escape. She literally draws her way out of her prison.
And then we see that purple door again, the way back to her own world, and then that final scene with the boy and his purple chalk. It's a really neat story arc. We see her loneliness, then her adventures, the danger, her escape, and then this hint of connection at the end, all without a single word. It's amazing. So, what are the big themes here? What's Journey really about?
Well, the overviews all talk about the power of imagination. It's like the main theme. The book shows how imagination can help you escape from boredom, from being lonely. And it can also help you solve problems, like when the girl uses her crayon to escape. The red crayon, it becomes this symbol of creativity.
Absolutely. And then there's the theme of loneliness and how to overcome it. The girl starts out so isolated, but then she finds connection through her adventures, first with the bird and then maybe with the boy at the end. It's like a reminder that you're not alone and that putting yourself out there can lead to finding friends.
And don't forget about courage and kindness. The girl is brave enough to help the bird, even though it's dangerous. And the bird helps her in return. It's like this idea that being kind can pay off in unexpected ways.
Right, and there's this idea of self-determination too. She doesn't just wait for things to happen, she makes them happen. She creates her own happiness, her own adventure. It's a really empowering message, especially for kids. So, there are other wordless picture books out there. The overviews mention Harold and the Purple Crayon. What do you see as the connection between that book and Journey?
Well, they're both about kids using crayons to create their own worlds.
Right.
It's like this direct link between imagination and art.
Exactly. And there are other examples too, like Sector 7, Flotsam, Tuesday, all by David Weisner. They're all about these fantastical journeys told through pictures. And then there's Castle by David Macaulay. It's a little different, more about actual information, but it still uses illustrations to show you how to build a castle.
Yeah, it's interesting how these books, they use pictures in different ways to tell stories. It's not just about like making things up. It can also be about explaining things. And they all make you, the reader, really work to understand the story, to interpret the pictures.
Right, and we have Mirror by Jeannie Baker. It uses these amazing collages to show you these parallel lives in different cultures. And then there's The Snowman by Raymond Briggs. It's a classic and it's so heartwarming. And Time Flies by Eric Roman. It's about the evolution of birds and it's visually stunning. There are so many great wordless picture books out there, all showing us the power of visual storytelling.
It's like these books are saying, hey, you don't need words to tell a good story. You can use pictures. And you can make people feel things, too, through images.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about Aaron Becker, the creator of Journey. It's interesting that he's both the author and the illustrator. He came up with the story and the pictures. And Journey was his first children's book. It's pretty amazing when you think about how successful it's been. It won a Caldecott honor, and it was a New York Times bestseller.
You can tell he's got a background in film and animation. The overviews mention that he worked on the Polar Express and Cars. You see that cinematic quality in his illustrations, the way he uses perspective and the movement. It's like watching a movie.
Yeah, you can totally see that influence. And he believes that drawing helps us understand the world, which is a really cool idea. And with Journey, he wanted to inspire kids to use their imaginations, to be curious. It's something he really cares about. And remember, Journey is part of a trilogy, so there's more to come. And he's written other books, too.
It's clear he really gets kids. Like he understands their sense of wonder. And it's cool how he sees drawing as this tool for learning, not just art. It adds another layer to his work.
So, to wrap things up, we've looked at Journey and how it tells a story without using any words. We've talked about the power of imagination, the importance of connection, and the beauty of Aaron Becker's art.
It's a good reminder that a story doesn't have to have words to be powerful, to make you feel things. Journey really makes you, as the reader, become part of the story. You have to use your imagination to figure things out.
Exactly. It shows how much we can communicate, how much we can experience just through pictures. So here's a question for you to think about. What's your red crayon? When you're feeling lonely or bored, what do you use to escape, to create your own world in your mind?
It makes you wonder, right? In a world full of words, why are we still so drawn to stories told through pictures? It's like there's something deep inside us that connects with visual storytelling.
It's a good question. And if you're interested in exploring this idea further, we definitely recommend checking out Journey. And if you're looking for more wordless picture books, we mention a bunch of great ones. And you could also look into Aaron Becker's other work and his background in animation. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Journey.